Hey Fanatics! If you're a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, you're gonna want to stick around for this one. This guy's been in the game for ages, and it's not just because of his killer looks. The dude can seriously act. You've seen him sink with the Titanic, con his way through Wall Street in The Wolf of Wall Street, and even go head-to-head with a bear in The Revenant. Every time he hits the big screen, he slays. But what you didn't know about him is how tragic his life really is. From his early days in the poorest and roughest neighborhoods to grappling with severe OCD and anxiety, not to mention his near-death experiences.
I jumped out of the airplane and then my first chute didn't open. They cut, it's tandem, so somebody's on your back. They cut that line. We started free falling. And then the second one was tangled as well, and I saw my friends sort of popping off with their, their parachutes, and I'm still plummeting towards planet Earth. Tangled for about a good, 20, 30 seconds, and then he untangled it, and then he told me, oh, you're probably gonna break your legs now. So it was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I'll never do it again.
And the controversies surrounding his dating life. Here's everything they never told you about DiCaprio's tragic life. Leonardos got 7 Oscar nominations, bagging the win for Best Actor in The Revenant and Golden Globes.
Leonardo DiCaprio. This is the first Oscar and 6th
Try 14 nominations with 3 wins for his standout roles. Oh, and did I mention he's rolling in the dough? DiCaprio is one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. But it's not just about the awards and the cash. Leo's also just a cool dude. His peers love him, and you rarely catch him in any Hollywood scandal. For over 4 decades, he's been doing his thing, and people just dig his vibe. So whether he's on screen or off, Leonardo DiCaprio is the real deal. A Hollywood legend with the talent and the charm to match.
All for this amazing award tonight. Let us not take this planet for granted. I do not take tonight for granted. Thank you so very much.
Despite his stellar success, the Catch Me If You Can star hasn't exactly had a smooth ride on the fame train. Leonardo DiCaprio, the man who knows a thing or two about sinking ships on the big screen, has faced his fair share of metaphorical shipwrecks in real life, from brushes with death to the demanding toll that the acting world has taken on him. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the more challenging side of Leonardo's journey. Growing up, Leo had a tough time in his neighborhood. Despite being close to Hollywood, his stomping grounds were on the grittier, less affluent side of town. In a candid interview with Rolling Stone, he shared, "It was bad news. I stayed home a lot." The neighborhood scene wasn't exactly a stroll down the red carpet either. He described encounters with sketchy characters peddling every imaginable drug from their trench coats and the regular sight of prostitutes streaming out of a nearby hotel. For young DiCaprio, it was a tough environment that molded him into a resilient individual. He didn't shy away from standing his ground, even if it meant starting fights he couldn't finish. Reflecting on those days, he admitted, "I would talk back to anyone and be up for any fight." His rebellious punk-like attitude was partly a response to being frequently overlooked due to his smaller stature compared to his peers. "I needed to be heard, and I was too little to get any respect," he confessed. Despite the challenges, DiCaprio held deep respect and admiration for his parents during his formative years. They couldn't have been better parents, he emphasized. According to him, their support and the freedom they gave him were crucial. "My parents gave me complete freedom. I had nothing to rebel against, so I didn't," he acknowledged. In a world where sinking into trouble seemed almost inevitable, Leonardo DiCaprio found a way to navigate the stormy seas of his upbringing thanks to his toughness, respect for his roots, and the unwavering support of his family. Even with all the money and fame, DiCaprio also battles with something we might not expect: anxiety. And get this, it's not the big stuff that keeps him up at night. When asked about his day-to-day worries, he ended up saying it's really stupid stuff, things that shouldn't make you anxious whatsoever. It's like his mind turns into this worry machine for things that don't even matter. Now, Leo is a pretty organized guy, but even he hits up therapy to keep his head in check. Surprisingly, he lets out a bunch of his inner struggles on the movie screen. You know, those moments where he's playing characters in powerful positions who take a nosedive, or wise old souls or dreamers caught up in their own fantasies. According to Leo, acting is his therapy, a way to release all that inner tension. Despite the anxiety ride, Leo's found a way to appreciate life's hurdles. He said, "I feel like I'm a pretty level-headed person that has remained happy and not let my shortcomings overtake the better part of me. I'm fulfilling the things I wanted to fulfill, and I'm still sane." So there you have it. Even with the glitz and glamour, Leo's just like the rest of us, dealing with everyday worries and finding his way through the chaos. Before Leonardo DiCaprio faced off with a bear in The Revenant, he had a real-life showdown with a lack of oxygen on a diving expedition almost a decade earlier. This hair-raising experience took place during a visit to the Galapagos Islands for an expedition linked to the climate change documentary Before the Flood, directed by Fisher-Stevens. The documentary follows DiCaprio as he globetrots, engaging in candid conversations with top-level experts, NASA scientists, and even former President Obama about the state of our world and the impact of human activities on natural resources. To gather more insights, the Gatsby star joined Stevens and oceanographer Sylvia Earle for a scuba dive that didn't exactly go as planned. Stevens handed DiCaprio a small camera to film Sylvia underwater. Excited about the task, Leo dove in, and for the first 20 minutes, everything seemed fine as they were surrounded by hundreds of eagle rays. But then, chaos ensued. Stevens lost track of DiCaprio and the rest of the group. Then, I see Leo buddy breathing, a rescue technique, because Leo's tank was leaking oxygen, and Edward had to save him, recounted the Oscar-winning director. It was pretty crazy, but he actually did get some film for me, and it was good for a second, and then it got pretty shaky when he couldn't breathe. But we really bonded on that trip. Leonardo DiCaprio's love for adventure took a dive, quite literally, during a shark encounter that turned into a near-death experience. The actor shared his heart-pounding story on The Ellen Show in 2014, recounting a terrifying incident that unfolded while he was shark diving with great whites in South Africa. The escapade took place during the filming of Blood Diamond in 2006, when DiCaprio got a front-row seat to witness these oceanic predators in action. As he vividly recalled, things took a scary turn when a tuna meant to attract the sharks ended up stuck at the top of the diving cage. Seizing the opportunity, a great white shark lunged at the tuna, accidentally finding itself inside the cage with DiCaprio. Yikes! The tuna kinda got stuck on the top of the cage, and the great white leaped out and tried to bite it, and it went into the cage with me, he recounted. Half of its body was in and out, and I flattened down at the bottom. It chomped a few times, but I survived it. In a narrow escape, the shark managed to flip its way out of the cage, narrowly missing DiCaprio's head by just about an arm's length.
We got stuck in a cage with a great white, which was awesome. And
what do you mean it was in?
It was
with
in the cage
you
with me, yeah. The tuna kind of got stuck on the top of the cage, and the great white leapt out and tried to bite it, and it went into the cage with me, and half of its body was in and out, and I flattened down at the bottom. And it was this far away, and it chomped a few times.
To add to the intensity, professionals on the boat mentioned that such an incident had never occurred in their 30 years of diving. Wow. Reflecting on the ordeal, DiCaprio admitted that the experience was absolutely terrifying despite the close call. The actor, who is also a dedicated philanthropist, praised nonprofit organizations working to research and preserve the ocean and its inhabitants. However, don't expect to see DiCaprio donning a scuba suit anytime soon. After all, surviving a great white shark encounter is more than enough excitement for one lifetime. Leo's basically the guy who's used up a bunch of his cat's lives, living life on the edge. First off, he had this crazy skydiving escapade. The parachute got all tangled up, and for a moment, he thought they were free falling to their doom. Luckily, they managed to untangle the backup chute just in the nick of time. Then there's the shark dive that went totally haywire while filming Blood Diamond. A great white shark ended up inside the cage with Leo. Can you imagine? After some heart-pounding moments, the shark wiggled out and Leo lived to tell the tale. But wait, there's more. Leo was on a flight to Moscow, and the engine caught fire. The whole wing turned into a fireball. Thankfully, they managed to do an emergency landing after dumping fuel for what felt like forever. As you can probably tell by now, Leo's basically the guy who's used up a bunch of his cat's life, living life on the edge. And of course, there's the dating drama. Leo's known for dating younger women, and people had a lot to say about it. Critics were all over him for his thing for dating ladies way younger. Social media was buzzing with opinions on the age gap, and well, the fact that Leo dumps all his girlfriends the second they cross the age of 25. Oh, and you'll be shocked to know that Leo faced some serious OCD kick-ins on the set of The Aviator. He had this thing about not stepping on cracks or gum stains. It got so intense that it caused delays in filming. Eventually, he managed to tell that voice in his head to chill, but it sure added some extra drama to the shoot. I think it's meant to be that Leo should be alive. What are your thoughts on Leonardo DiCaprio? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.